Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well. And I'm joined by the George Foreman lookalike, Chef Donner, and that's Bernard Denny from the Citizen Channel. How are things?
It doesn't
cooking,
work
Bernard?
because you don't know what we were talking about off air, so they don't know what it's got to do with George Foreman or chefs. I mean, it ruins the whole point.
I've got to tell you, Bernard's got himself an air fryer. And it's
not a hair fryer.
Not an air fryer, an air fryer. But what surprises me is asking me for tips. Come on. I've got people who do that for me. Come on, air fryer, mate. No, good, healthy eating, mate.
Well, I thought your head cook might have been there to give us the information.
Well, no,
Mrs. Hudson, is it? I don't know who the cook was in the old days.
Man, you're going back a bit, aren't you?
Or Mrs. Bridges, that was it. Mrs. Bridges in upstairs, downstairs. That's 99% of the watchers have now turned off.
Mrs. Doubtfire, that's more like it. Oh dear me. Hey guys, look, we're padding it out. We're padding it out because this is a day after review of the game against Huddersfield, and let's be honest, it kind of went the way we expected it to go. Huddersfield played pretty much 10 men behind the ball. I've got to be honest, I did say it yesterday, it was a bit boring because it went the way we expected. They didn't really go for it. I don't blame them. We played a few kids. We battered them in the end as they flagged in the second half. We expected certain things to happen, like the kids to play KDB to get a few minutes. He got a bit longer than we expected. We saw Mr. Doku. Mr. Doku's back. Mr. Doku is back. So, Bernard, any surprises with that starting lineup?
Not really, no. I mean, obviously, I had Bernardo in my team, but obviously he's poorly, isn't he? So he couldn't have played anyway. But I think Bernardo might have started. Sorry?
He dropped Walker.
Well, that didn't surprise. I had Lewis in anyway. I think Lewis was going to play that game. I mean, of course, I don't think Diaz accepted the responsibility of captain too well because he didn't have a great game, unfortunately. But at least when Diaz is captain, he doesn't start shooting from 50 yards. You know,
I thought he was gonna have a couple of pops.
Yeah. He opened himself up once, didn't he, for a Vinny Company type thing? But obviously, he thought better of it. So, yeah, no real surprises. I think. Obviously on the bench had that. Obviously, is it Jacob right, or whatever he's called?
Yeah.
So we had him. I've not seen him before, and nice to see him get on the pitch. But yeah, I mean, as pretty much as we thought with KDB coming on rather than starting the game. Same with Doku. Obviously, Haaland still seems a bit of a way off. Otherwise, he would have been on the bench, wouldn't he? So that's a bit of a worry. I can't see him coming up against Newcastle if he's not really ready yet.
I think it's unlikely. By the signs of things Pep's been saying, I'm expecting Haaland to come back any moment now, but he's not turned up. So yeah,
I've seen him in training. He's pictured in training, isn't he, with them? So
having pictures or little clips, video clips taken in training is nothing like a full training session, and we don't see that.
Pitch. I mean, you're not seeing these little rondos and things. He's not been getting stuck in and stuff like that.
So, but no, we had 3 kids on who started, or 5 if you depends how old you think a kid is. But we had obviously Oscar Bob, who is 20 years old ish. We had Rico Lewis. Do you know how old he is?
19, is he?
Is he still 18?
Is he still 18? I'm getting mixed up, Mr. Bellingham, mate. I can't remember these.
Rico Lewis.
Mr. Bellingham was 19 for about 4 years, I think.
You're right. Rico Lewis turned 19 in November. So I've got to update me knowledge.
Gomez, he's not old, is he? Gomez.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Oscar Bob is 20, and Sergio Gomez started. And Sergio Gomez is about 21, isn't he? It's 23 now, Sergio Gomez.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And any of the kids, obviously Phil Foden's only 23. Julian Alvarez is only, do you remember? 22, 23. Julian Alvarez is now 23 years old. He'll be 24 end of this month. Right. So plenty of youngsters, which is obviously good to see. And obviously, you mentioned in the second half, Wright came on, Mika Hammersley came on. We had Doku and KDB come on. So that was good.
Lost a Kanji though, but I don't know how
Yeah,
serious that is.
we don't know what the extent of that is. It's a bit unfortunate for him because if the ref had given the first free kick, which should have been, maybe Kanji wouldn't have got.
That was after me saying they're not a dirty team.
They weren't that. I don't think they were that dirty. They
weren't.
were
I mean, there's only if you look at the stats, it was. I think we made 4 fouls and they made 7. So you know, as I said, it wasn't a physical game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, the game went as we would have expected it when we discussed it last week. They've got so many men behind the ball. City, as I said it, we're boring. I hold my hands up. The way we played in that first half was boring football. Now, I would say it's a means to an end because we're looking for that mistake. We're looking for them to switch off for us to get behind. We've got no big man in the box. So there's no point putting crosses in. So we generally didn't put many crosses in. And so we were looking for that mistake. They were waiting for a mistake from us, trying to hit us on the break. And nothing much was really happening. We were passing them to death. And as I said, I think it's a means to an end. It tires your opposition out, both physically and mentally. Mentally, it's hard to concentrate and when the ball's moving about so much. And I think in the second half, that took its toll on Huddersfield. They got tired, as I said, physically and mentally, and we went to town on them. That first half, there was not much happening. But let's talk, I guess, the Kanji injury aside, there was the 2 goals and precious little else, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem was, I mean, I was confused by not the tactics, because when you're playing, they've got 11 men literally in their last third of the pitch. It's hard to find space. And I just thought Bob and Lewis were sort of getting in each other's way but that's because the pitch was so, everything was so enclosed in that one space. And on the other side, you had Grealish and Gomez. I mean, Grealish ended up playing as sort of left back. I mean, I couldn't figure out what was trying to happen. No one was overlapping. Grealish didn't look willing to try and take anyone on again.
He did it once.
Oh, sorry? He did once, yeah. That's what,
he just went on the outside.
I mean, you're playing, but how can you get? There's no room. There's no room to get behind him anyway, or place those little passes through. So they had to sort of come through the middle, which I was shouting literally at one stage for Foden. Do something, put a little ball somewhere. Alvarez move into a little bit of space, find something. And of course, eventually we managed to find a little bit of space. I think it was Nunes. Good work from Nunes, I think, involved as well in one of the 2 goals. But it was difficult. It was difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week against Sheffield United. I don't like this idea of playing our fullbacks out wide. Last week we had Gvardiol out as a left winger and Kyle Walker as a right winger, or wing backs, let's call them. And they're supposed to be creative. This week we had, I was going to say Jack Grealish, and there's no creativity there, but we had Gomez and Rico Lewis. I mean, initially Oscar Bob was out on the right, and after about 20 minutes, he came on the inside, and Rico Lewis was your wide man. Pep was telling Rico, this is after Kanji went off, that he had to hug the touchline. But Rico Lewis isn't going to take anybody on. So I personally think he was wasted there. Yeah. It was just safety. And Oscar Bob was wasted on the inside. You want Bob to take people on. That's, you
can't play overlapping fullbacks against that sort of setup. It just doesn't work because there's no room for him to overlap.
Yeah. And then where you're going to cross it?
You need someone to take someone on. Yeah. I think Kovacic had a go at it and succeeded. Yeah. I thought he played pretty well, Kovacic. Yeah. And I thought Nunes as well, because Kovacic, I think, was involved in the first goal. I think Nunes was involved in the second goal. Yeah. Once they took people on and created a little bit of space, it worked and played little 1-2s, and it worked in that tight. The rondos worked. In that exercise you do in training, the rondos, that's what you want to see in the 12-yard box. And it worked a couple of times.
I thought we were going to go for the new passing record because we were just passing it. But there's no benefit to that. As I said, I have to each time have to tell myself, counter it by it's a means to an end. We're tiring them out and all that. But by golly, it's boring. It's boring to watch, And second half, they slowed down. We speeded up as well. We had a bit more excitement in the second half with Doku and KDB on the pitch. And we moved things a lot quicker. We looked a different side in the second half. But as I said, caveat, they were tiring. First goal was, I think, Kovacic passed it to Alvarez, who I did him a disservice. I thought he was having a shot, but I think he was trying to pull it back.
If
he wasn't trying to pull it back,
I have no. I'll tell you what. I've watched it back. I've still no idea what he was doing. I'm not convinced he was shooting. I'm not convinced he was passing. I'm not convinced he knew what the hell he was doing.
Well, I tell you what, whatever it was bad. Because if it was a shot, it was a poor shot. If it was a pullback, it was terrible. It ricocheted to Phil Foden, and he just smacked it home.
Yeah.
And as soon as he hit that, I mean, we were right. I'm on level one because obviously the club in their brainlessness give the opposition a lot of the side stand, and they give my seat away. So I'm on the rails now. On the what do they call it? Safe standing. So there's no choice. You got to stand because everybody else is. There's no point having a seat there because no one's sitting down. But it doesn't matter. But yeah, we were sat behind it, and as soon as he hit it, it was a goal.
He couldn't reach the keep. Is it Nichols, the keeper? He had no. He just couldn't react. He was too fast. He hit it. It was too close in.
Yeah.
Hit it too. I think he hit his shoulder, didn't it? It went in, ricocheted into the net.
Yeah. Then we move on to second goal. That was a 1-2 between Foden, live wire. He was all right actually in the game. Foden and Nunez. So Nunez, Nunez had come on for Akanji's injury. Had some fellas behind me slagging him off before he even got on the pitch.
Well, it was unusual because I did read back the report, and apparently Aki had started to warm up. Yeah. And obviously centre half for a centre half. Yeah, fair enough. But obviously Pep doesn't think like that, does he?
He just moved Rico out wide, and
it actually helped. It actually made it a better formation. As I said, they weren't running into each other as much once Rico moved across.
Yeah. So it was a 1-2 between Foden and your man Nunez. Nunez cuts it back. I think Rico Lewis got a touch.
I think he shot. I think Rico Lewis tried to shoot, but fluffed it.
It was fortuitous. It went to Alvarez, who just took his foot out, and it
trundled over the line.
It was agonising for the keeper because he's watching it and he's scrambling. He knows it. We were behind the goal. You know he's not going to get there. He's hoping, and it was like slow motion.
I was waiting for the Huddersfield version of John Stones to come and welly it off the line, but obviously it never happened.
Yeah, it rolled in. So we went in at half time 2-0 up. Early in the second half, Jack Grealish came off. Did night for me, I'm afraid. The one time I remember him going on the outside, he tried to cross it in, but it was a terrible because the defender was right on him, and you knew before he crossed that ball that the defender was going to block it, and he blocked it within about 2 centimeters of Jack crossing it. It's different to Gomez sometimes when he crossed it in. The defender blocks it, but he's a few yards away. The defender's done a decent job. It did night for me. Kev came on. Jack went off. Doku came on. Doku. Who did Kev come on for? Trying to remember.
Alvarez, was it? Alvarez,
that's the one. Alvarez. And I think Kevin was a little bit rusty because guys behind me, it was
keen but rusty.
Yeah, that's it. At least when Nunez was coming on, they slagged him off and they meant it. When KDB came on and he had a few poor touches.
Did you think he was moving naturally, or do you think he was a little bit restrained in his movement?
Nah, I think he was all right. I'm
thinking back to the old day. Colin Bell's come back where he could tell he was never going to get it back. But Kevin was putting it in, wasn't he? Putting the effort in.
Pep said this years ago. I remember him saying this years ago with injuries, and he said it about Kevin. He's had many training sessions before you're allowed to come on the start the game, play a game. So you're basically not taking a risk. You're making sure they've had a lot of games. Practice and training under their belt before they're out. So it was nice to see them. Doku. I mean, you just see it. Doku from a standing position, he can flick the ball past somebody and he's gone. He's got not just the pace, he's got the moves. He's got those hips. I'm sure he'd be a great salsa dancer and all that, dancing the tango is Jeremy Doku. But he's got this move where he just kind of knocks it from one side to the next and he's gone past the player. And he doesn't even need his pace. He uses his quick feet and the defender doesn't know what's going on. And so he did that a few times. He loses it a few times, but he's got, for me, a lot more license than someone like Mika Hamilton or someone like Oscar Bob.
Yeah.
Pep's got a lot more faith in Jeremy Doku. Well, he's played at a reasonably high level already.
Yeah.
So the third goal came from Oscar Bob. It was a
own goal, but
yeah. But it was a good ball through to, was it a Nunez control?
Yeah, I mean, I say Nunez had nice bits yesterday. Again, he's not always perfect. You know me and Nunez. I think he can do a lot more creatively. And he looked as though he took it down with his arm, didn't he? But presumably he didn't.
Probably
he controlled. Was it a Diaz pass from the back? A big long range? Yeah, I watched it back. I couldn't figure it out.
I had my binoculars with me, mate.
Yeah. But I mean, Bob was doing the right thing. He was trying to find KDB, who's obviously sprinting into the box, free, no one marking him. Of course, Bob was trying to find him, wasn't he, with a little chip, and it just, again, I don't know which part of the body it hit, but it hit Jackson on the body, and it was just in the net.
It's in. Goalie's watching it again.
Yeah. As a goalie, you can't do anything with that.
Yeah. And then Foden scored. He couldn't do much about the Foden goal.
No.
You know, Foden hits it from, was it just outside the box?
Yeah, I think on the edge of the D, wasn't it? So about 20 yards.
Yeah, left foot curler. Keeper had no chance with that. And we rounded it off with the way we would have liked it, you know. KDB chipping across in.
Oh, it was lovely. It was the old pitching wedge boot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was brilliant. And all credit to Doku for keeping it down, keeping it under control. Hit the target at pace, and it went in, which it deserved to do.
But you see the difference between we attacked at pace then, all right. As I said, Huddersfield were tiring, but we attacked at pace. We ripped them to pieces. KDB gets the ball. He looks up. He didn't just pop it in because there's no Haaland there. He knows if you pop it in without looking, Haaland's going to be there. But there's no Haaland. He looked up, saw Doku free. I don't know why other players can't do this. Chipped it over to Doku. And Doku finished it off beautifully, stroking it on the half volley. I don't know why other players should be looking at what they did together, because that's what we need. But they had a couple of chances. You know, give them their due.
Yeah, Diaz was at fault for one of them, wasn't he? I thought.
Yeah, in the second half where he was belting it back. I think he was telling Ortega was coming out.
Yeah, but he wasn't sprinting out, was he? So Diaz should have coped with it. He just
and Diaz thought he was going to carry on, just left it for him.
I thought it was Ederson. He thought Ederson would have been right up his ass, but obviously it wasn't Ederson. It was Ortega, mate.
Yeah,
the funny thing of it was, it's so he leaned across to block it, and he just went a yard wide, let the player through. Mate, you have a go.
Go on, mate. Have it. You know, if you're going to let it go to your keeper, you still block the player off. He said, "Hey, mate, go on, have a go." And then
it's one of the worst shoulder charges I've ever seen in my life.
It's you know, you play air guitar. Well, that's an air shoulder charge. But the thing is, maybe he felt sorry for Ortega Moreno because he must have been blooming cold. He hardly touched the ball. So, but
the best of it was he was slagging Ortega off. It wasn't Diaz. It was Diaz's fault. It wasn't Ortega's.
You don't leave it to somebody else. You deal with it yourself, El Capitan. But the fellow hit it too close to Ortega, hit his leg, ricocheted off, and. You know,
it could have easily gone back in the net, couldn't it? With that rebound.
And these two Herberts behind me later in the end of the game said when Ortega had made a save, they said he's had no saves to make in the game. Well, they forgot about that, so they should watch the game. Don't slag Nunez off. Just watch the game and focus on what's happening. He made another save later on.
Yeah, late on. Yeah,
with his arm,
kicked his arm down. He just hit him, but he had to. It was a reflex save. It was a good save.
Yeah. Fella should have scored really, but you know, we give them it's slightly disappointing that we give them a couple of needless chances. We could have scored one or two more, but 5-0. What was your prediction?
3.
Mine would have been probably similar 4. I can't remember. I'm not going to go back.
I just thought we'd ease off. You know, I just thought when it went 2-0 at half time, I thought, it probably will end up 3-0 because we won't put our effort in. But they were that poor the second half, as you said, with substitutions, weakening the team, guys getting some time who probably don't play regular. Of course, I didn't allow for KDB and Doku coming on. So there you go.
KDB come on with about 25 minutes to go. I was really surprised. I thought he might get between 2 and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
25, and then you got obviously the 3 minutes injury time. So it's best part of half an hour, which was good.
If KDB and Doku hadn't come on so early, it probably would have been 3-0 or something like that. Just the fact that they came on, the old pace of the game changed, and we were capable of scoring a couple of more goals.
You've got someone like KDB who's desperate to play and eager to show his stuff. He's missed. Or basically September, October, November, December, he's missed 4.5 months of football. So he's desperate. You got Doku, who's missed the last 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. He's back. He wants to show his stuff as well. So you've got eager players. And then you've got Mika Hamilton coming on, who wants to show up his stuff. Nunez wants to show what he can do. Same with Kovacic. Same with Oscar Bob. They want to express themselves. And then the kid Wright at the end, was it Jake Wright? So
Jacob, right.
Yeah, we got some of that.
Did you hear the Feed the Bob's song as well? Feed the Bob and he will score.
All I heard was Oscar Bob. Was it Oscar Bob?
Feed the Bob and he will score. Was singing.
All I heard was Oscar Bob, Oscar Bob, Bob. And then Wright came on. It was Jakey, right. Come on, guys, come up with a new blooming tune. It's all coming back from Ian Wright and then Shawnee, right. Did we ever sing? What was his brother's name? Forgot. You got Sean Wright Phillips and Bradley. Did they ever sing Bradley right? I don't remember that. I remember Sean Wright.
I can't remember it.
It's not exactly innovative stuff. But yeah, we won 5-0, and apart from the Akanji injury, a couple of heavy tackles, but apart from the Akanji injury, because there was a heavy one on Gomez where he got booked. I couldn't believe that. He got booked for getting injured. But we must be reasonably pleased with that. We won the game comfortably. KDB, Doku got runs out. Kids had a run out. Fringe players had a run out. Fans got plenty of goals. Pep's got to be happy with that, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think, of course, we've got a biggie coming up next week, but getting minutes in legs, whether KDB will start next week or be on the bench again, I'm not 100% sure. We want Ireland back, of course. We want the option, because I like Alvarez, and again, he came up with an assist or two yesterday, at least one assist, wasn't it, yesterday. But I don't know with Alvarez. I'm confused by how he plays. A goal. Good goal, but it didn't look as though he knew too much about it. He just stuck his foot on it, and that's what you want. You want the goals. But if he gets a goal and assist every game, I'm happy. But I do sort of sometimes think he disappears a little bit, and he's not around.
The thing is, I think he's got a low profile, which is weird. Okay.
Just think back to Jesus. I mean, when Jesus used to work hard, and we used to say it, didn't we? Yeah. He's all out. And Alvarez does, but you don't really notice that. You just but he gets the goals and he gets the assists, and that's what we want. But I still don't think Pep's getting the best out of him.
Yeah, no, I think there's more to come from him. I think we could just have to wait and see.
I mean, if we go to Newcastle, without Haaland, but perhaps Doku starting with a bit of luck. They're wounded, aren't they, as well? I know they won against Sunderland, which will help them, but they're a wounded animal at the moment. They've had a shocking last few games, haven't they? So it's going to be a bit of a battle next week, I think. Yeah.
Well, the FA Cup draws tonight, about 10-8, just before Wigan beat Man United.
We'll get either Wigan or United away.
Well, Wigan will beat Man United tonight, hopefully.
So either way, we're going out of it's Wigan, but we'll be all right if it's United.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had some plonker said, what was it? There was an upset, or they said if Huddersfield, this was it, I can't remember who it was now on the radio. If Huddersfield beat Man City at Man City, it'll be one of the biggest upsets in the FA Cup history. I thought, mate, Wigan were in the third tier of English football in League One when they beat a Manchester City side that were centurions that season. We won the League Cup. We won the league with 100 points. We got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We got beat by Liverpool, I think, that season. And Wigan beat us. That was a huge upset. Another huge upset was when Wigan beat us in the final in 2013. Sorry for bringing that up, mate. I mean, I know I normally put my head in my hands when I think about that game. So, no, some of these pundits, the hyperbole is off the charts with these, it's just they forget everything that's happened, and they just talk about a couple of things that they can remember. No. But anyway, we won comfortably. We move on. The Newcastle game is going to be interesting. Obviously, it's a big game. And then we do get some time off. So we will play against Newcastle on Saturday evening at 5:30. And then our next game will be the FA Cup on the 27th, 28th of
Yeah, I'm just surprised we're not stuck Brentford in somewhere. I just don't understand the logic.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, we've got to have a busy, time after we come February, March, April. So we really wanted that Brentford game sneaking in somewhere, but it's obviously not happening. It's a bit late now for it to be put in, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not going to squeeze it in this month, which is
to do with the points as well. A home game against Brentford.
Yeah.
We've got them away, haven't we? Early February. We're playing them away, but we could do with that. Get the 3 points on the board, make the table look a little bit better, put pressure on the other teams as well.
I've just noticed, it's my own stupidity. This is a personal thing. I'm screwed that weekend. I agreed to go to London on the 27th to see some friends. And then someone asked me, I was doing some work over.
You might be playing in London, mate. Might get an away game in London. You don't know.
Yeah, that's a point, actually. We'll probably get. And actually, a big game. If say you're away against West Ham, we get, was it 15% of the tickets? So
I don't think they work to that anymore, do they? I think that's gone.
No,
I mean, they try, but I don't think it always works like that.
No, I'm going to check.
Yeah, I've not been since Wolves and Newcastle. I want to get to bloody away games. It seems to be ages since I've been to one, so I don't mind a big team away because at least you'll get a decent allocation.
Yeah, here we go. Visiting clubs are allowed up to 15% of all tickets for the stadium they are playing at.
Up to, mate. Yeah, we never have 15% of Old Trafford, do we?
No. Unless that 15% exceeds 9,000. So the most you can get at Old Trafford would be 9,000.
Never get that though, do we? Never.
That's the FA Cup. FA Cup's different, isn't it?
Is it?
FA Cup's different. FA Cup's different to the league.
I just get the feeling we always get about 6,000 to 7,000. That's all.
No, well, I mean, the thing is, you're right. But if we do have the game against West Ham, we will get plenty of tickets. You'll be able to go 9,000. You'll be able to go if you want. They got 60,000 capacity. You'll get 8,000 or 9,000. You'll go if you want to go. I don't think there's any issue with that. But then, thing is, on the Sunday, someone asked me to do some work because I was doing a gig on this Saturday, and one of the parents at this party I was at said, "Oh, can you? It's my girl's birthday in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. Will you do it? Can you come on that?" I said, "Well, it's FA Cup." But the thing is, look, without going into too much about what I do, she said, her kid struggles with being happy with anything, and what I was doing was making her happy. So, I said, yeah, look, football. To be honest, football comes second when, you can bring, in my opinion, anyway, you can bring joy and happiness to people's lives. Unless it's away at Man United, I might have to reconsider.
You get the train down from London with all the rest of the United fans. You'll be all right.
Good man. Anyway, guys, I'm going to shoot because I thought there's nothing to talk about. 10 minutes is all we're going to get. And
5 goals. It's got 5 goals. You've got to put some effort in, haven't we?
Yeah, we got Newcastle. We'll bring you a preview in a couple of days' time. I'll have a chat with Bernie because the game's on Saturday. So we'll probably try and get a preview out on Wednesday if we can. Give Bernard time to do his research, get his own stuff out as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you stay to the end, thank you. You're bonkers. But yeah, so in summary, City beat Huddersfield 5-0. Comfortable win. Got what we wanted. Lots of players. Kids got to run out. Fringe players got to run out. Injured players came back. And hopefully we will build on to the remaining 4 months of the season. And it's a shame. I'm going to say this. We're the only one team can do the quadruple this season. I've already heard them talking about the quad. Liverpool winning all 4 competitions that they're in. It's not the proper quad because they're in the Europa League. Haven't they forgot that we won the World Championship and the UEFA Super Cup? And if we win the other 3, we're still on for the quintuplet. So, guys, get it right on the radio. We're the best team in all the land and all the world. And we roll on. Thank you, Bernard. If you want to check Bernard out, Citizen Channel, please give him a follow and give us a like, give us a follow. Hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And we will see you around, Blues.